Coming live from the 215, it's your dude Rockin' Reese bringing you another edition of WCC Ring Rockers, the show where we're going to rock the house all night long. But before we get started, I've got to get something off of our chest real quick. I want to dedicate tonight's show to my boy, Mr. Team Bringer. He's a little down, taking care of some personal business. Chris, I know you're going to be listening. Take care. Handle everything you got to handle, and hope to have you back. Hope to have you back in action, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into what we normally do, I just want to tell you real quick what we got on tap for you tonight. We're going to honor Wrestling Extreme Club in our Ring Rock and Roll-y segment, and of course, the Ring Rock and Rumble. And as you guys know, coming up this Monday night, 20 years of Monday Night Raw will be celebrated. So think of what your favorite Raw moments will be, and that'll be coming up later in the Ring Rock and Rumble. But first, we got to go around the world, well, at least North America anyway, find out what's going on, and we're going to do some promos real quick for you. So listen up if you're in any of these areas. Here we go. Starting off Wednesday nights, Ohio Valley Wrestling. It's the Davis Arena, 4400 Shepherdsville Road, Louisville, Kentucky, 40218. Doors are open at 6:30 p.m. Bell time is 7 p.m. There's a $5 admission, and you can pay with cash or a credit or debit card. To learn more about Ohio Valley Wrestling, go to ovwrestling.com, or you can hit them up on Twitter at ovwrestling. Remember, that's Ohio Valley Wrestling at the Davis Arena, 4400 Shepherdsville Road, Louisville, Kentucky, 40218, and that is every Wednesday night. Friday nights, Southern Wrestling Federation comes to the SWF Arena, 106 Southside Drive, Tullahoma, Tennessee, 37388. Doors are open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 7:30. Tickets are $7 for general admission. To learn more about Southern Wrestling Federation, check them out at swfwrestlingtn.com. That's Southern Wrestling Federation, coming to the SWF Arena, 106 Southside Drive, Tullahoma, Tennessee, 37388. Saturday nights, High Velocity Wrestling comes to the HVW Arena, 3515 Asheville Highway, Hendersonville, North Carolina, 28791. To learn more about High Velocity Wrestling, call them up at 828-674-1378 for a starting time and ticket prices. That's High Velocity Wrestling at the HVW Arena, 3515 Asheville Highway, Hendersonville, North Carolina, 28791, and that is every Saturday night. Also, every Saturday night, American Pro Wrestling comes to the American Coliseum, 380 Whitney Highway, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29303. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time is 8 p.m. Tickets for these events are $10 for adults, $5 for kids. To learn more about, remember, that's American Pro Wrestling at the American Coliseum, 380 Whitney Highway, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29303. Saturday nights, Do or Die Pro Wrestling comes to 1509 East 5th Street, Metropolis, Illinois, 62960. Doors are open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 7 p.m. Tickets for all shows are $5. Remember, that's every Saturday night. Do or Die Pro Wrestling, 1509 East 5th Street, Metropolis, Illinois, 62960. Saturday nights, Outlaw Championship Wrestling Alliance comes to the Outlaw Arena, 25883 North Park Avenue, Elkhart, Indiana, 46514. The doors open at 6:30. Bell time is 7:10 p.m. Tickets for this event are $5 general admission. Kids 6 years of age or younger get in for free. To learn more about Outlaw Championship Wrestling Alliance, go to OCWAWrestling.com. That's Outlaw Championship Wrestling Alliance. Saturday nights at the Outlaw Arena, 25883 North Park Avenue, Elkhart, Indiana, 46514. And Sunday nights, the United Wrestling Federation goes to the Georgetown Bingo Hall, 150 Edwards Avenue in Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 6:30. Tickets for this event is $7 for general admission. Kids 5 years of age and younger get in for free. Remember, that's United Wrestling Federation at the Georgetown Bingo Hall every Sunday night. And it's 150 Edwards Avenue, Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324. All right, here are special events of the week. January 12th, World Extreme Wrestling C4 presents a Blast TV taping at the Lakeside Ballroom, 40 Crystal Lane in Barnesville, Pennsylvania, 18214. Doors are open at 6:30. Bell time is 7:35. Tickets are $12 for general admission, $15 for ringside seats. To learn more about WXWC4, you can check them out at WXWC4.com, or you can hit them up on Twitter at WXW_C4. Remember, that's Saturday, January 12th, WXWC4 Blast TV at the Lakeside Ballroom, 40 Crystal Lane, Barnesville, Pennsylvania, 18214. Saturday, January 12th, SoCal Pro Wrestling brings live action to the Boys and Girls Club, 401 Country Club Way in Oceanside, California. Doors are open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 7 p.m. Tickets are $15 for adults, while kids and military get in for $10. For the SoCal Pro Heavyweight Championship, SoCal Crazy defends against Big Daddy Destro. For the Golden State title, Andre Machevsky defends against Kid Caramba. For the tag team titles, Anchors Away defends against Devin Sparks and Rick Ellis. Mr. Megastar Tommy Wilson will go one-on-one with Duke. And in singles action, the Mirror Image Ricky Mandel will go one-on-one with Jeff Resnick. To learn more about SoCal Pro Wrestling, you can check them out at SoCalProWrestling.com or on Twitter at SoCalPro. Remember, that's SoCal Pro Wrestling, Saturday, January 12th at the Boys and Girls Club of Oceanside, 401 Country Club Way, Oceanside, California. Saturday, January 12th, NWA Wrestling on Fire comes to the Parsippany Police Athletic League Building, 33 Baldwin Road in Parsippany, New Jersey. Doors are open at 6 p.m. Showcase matches will start at 6:30, and bell time is 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets for this event are $10 in advance or $12 at the door for general admission. For reserved ringside seats, they are $12 in advance, $14 at the door. To learn more about NWA on Fire, check them out at NWAOnFire.com or hit them up on Twitter at NWA on Fire. Remember, that's Saturday, January 12th, NWA Wrestling on Fire at the Parsippany Athletic League Building, 33 Baldwin Road in Parsippany, New Jersey. Great. Saturday, January 12th, Metroplex Wrestling comes to the MPX Arena, 1820 Reliance Parkway, Suite 100, in Bedford, Texas, 76021. Doors are open at 7:30. Bell time is 8 p.m. Tickets for this event are $8 for adults, $5 for kids, and for every person that brings a chair, you will have $2 taken off of your total price. And in action, the MPX Heavyweight Champion Barrett Brown will go one-on-one with Christopher Hayden. The Goddess Athena will be in women's action. For the MPX Tag Team titles, Tad Wild will defend against Glamour Hammer. And there could be a showdown between Frankie Fisher and Canella. It's Saturday, January 12th, Metroplex Wrestling at the MPX Arena, 1820 Reliance Parkway, Suite 100, in Bedford, Texas, 76021. Make sure you check out Metroplex Wrestling on Facebook. And finally, Sunday, January 13th, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood will have a TV taping at the Glendale Studios, 1239 South Glendale Avenue in Glendale, California, 91205. Bell time for this event is 3 p.m. To learn more about CWFH, you can go to HollywoodWrestling.com, or you can hit them up on Twitter at CWF Hollywood. Remember, that's Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Sunday, January 13th at the Glendale Studios, 1239 South Glendale Avenue in Glendale, California, 91205. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a 60-second break. When we come back, we are going to have Ring Rockin' Royalty to talk about Wrestling Extreme Club. And don't forget, later on in the show, we will have your favorite moments from Monday Night Raw during the Ring Rockin' Rumble. I will be back in 60 seconds. Coming live from the 215, it's your dude Rockin' Reese telling you about some of the great things that we're doing here on Wrestling Commentary Central. It starts off every Monday night after Raw with the Uncensored Show with your boy Mr. Team Bring It and yours truly, along with the rest of the WCC family. Then we go to Tuesday nights with the Overload with EL.CIBERNETICO and Mr. Jones at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific Time. Then it's Wednesdays with the Ring Rockers with myself and the rest of the WCC family every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Thursdays, it's the TNA Recipe with my man Mr. Red and the rest of the WCC family at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific. And then Saturdays, it's Breakdown with Mr. Team Bring It and myself and the rest of the WCC family at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Pacific. And don't forget, Sunday nights on pay-per-view nights, we will be recording at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 8:30 Pacific. Check us out, Wrestling Commentary Central on Facebook. You can also check us out at the WCC Live page. And also, don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at WCC Live. It's your dude, Rockin' Reese, reminding you, as always, keep on slamming and be a part of Wrestling Commentary Central, the new voice of wrestling.
Let's go. WCCLive.com. WCCLive.com. Suckers. Bitches. Give me a bucket of chicken.
Welcome back, everybody, to the WCC Ring Rockers. Ring Rockers, it is now time for Ring Rockin' Royalty. Gee, now, if you're not familiar with this segment, this is where I honor you guys and gals, too. Don't want to forget the ladies. Because what we do is we select somebody who's doing something awesome in the wrestling community, and we give them their time to shine. And tonight I am very proud to honor a group of people that have been longtime friends of the Wrestling Commentary Central family. That, of course, being Wrestling Extreme Club, who, by the way, just hit a milestone. Yeah, recently. Matter of fact, I think they just said it earlier today. 7,000 members and counting. Great job, WEC. Unfortunately, we're having a little negativity going on right now with the WEC gang. Unfortunately, one of our dearest members, Ms. Stephanie Vasquez, is right now she's losing her mother. As we're speaking, I know like she's been in bad health recently. So, Steph, if you're listening, we're gonna pray for your mom. Hopefully, there will be recovery. I'm sorry if I'm losing composure here. This is never an easy topic to talk about. So to Stephanie Vasquez, her mom, and the rest of her family, God bless. We're gonna pray for you guys. Keep holding strong. And as far as the rest of the WEC, like I said, 7,000 members. You guys keep it going each and every day. They want to thank my dude Rick Rudes, Dagger, Steve Delagala, my boy DDT, Daryl Thomas, Doris, and I know I'm missing a whole list of people right now, but I can never figure out what you guys are doing, but whatever it is, keep doing it. Well, actually, I do know what you guys are doing, but anyway, Wrestling Extreme Club, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to say congratulations on being my ring rockin' royalty of the night. And now, I think it's just about time to Yeah, and right about now, I think we're about to, since we're in a good mood, I feel like throwing down a little bit. I feel like hearing my dude, Mr. Michael Buffett, utter those very, very, very famous words. Yo, Mike, how do those words go?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, those would be the words I was looking for, because I feel like getting into the ring rock and rumble of the night. And as I said, it's time to get raw. Oh, hold on, we got somebody in the house. Who do we have on the telephone line? Hello.
Yellow.
Oh, wait a minute. That voice sounds familiar.
You already know.
Would that be the one and only Mr. Jacob Marshall?
It is the instigator.
Yes, sir. Jake, how you doing, baby?
Well, good, man. I had to step in and hit the show for a minute.
Yeah. Well, we getting ready to rumble on this one, and as you know, this Monday night. Can you believe it's been 20 years?
Man.
20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Jake, talk to me, because I know you got a couple. What were some of your favorite Raw moments?
My favorite Raw moment. Let's see. I always have fun when The Rock comes back.
I think everybody usually does. Well, except for whoever he's bad-mouthing at the time.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, that's some of my favorite moments when The Rock pops up on Raw. Tells people about their candy asses.
Yeah. I'm about to say I wouldn't be surprised if I can remember a lot of them because I was there. Because I'm sure, like most of us, like we were there January 11th, 1993, and they was like, yeah, to think to go from the Manhattan Center and then like a 1-hour show, and now you've blown up to like 3 hours now, and going all over the world.
I didn't think they could pull it off, but apparently it's going down.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna tell you, like, perhaps one of my most standout ones was I got to go, to take it for some of our early viewers. I got to say that, like, I think the first thing that really, to me, put Monday Night Raw on the map was the upset heard around the world. Of course, we going back May 17th, 1993. The bad guy, Razor Ramon, he was oozing machismo, but it started to dwindle a little bit. And when a young man by the name of the 1-2-3 Kid, well, he was just a kid at the time after, like, going through nickname after nickname.
Yeah.
Catches him with a moonsault, and then 1, 2, 3? Wait a minute. Razor Ramon ain't supposed to lose this match? What's going on here?
It is what it is. It was a conspiracy.
Well, you know what they say. Well, Raw's first tagline at that point in time, it was uncooked and uncensored. And I'll tell you one thing, it was unpredictable that night because, man, the first jobber upset of the all-time on Raw.
Yeah. I agree.
But then, of course, we go a little further along. That I had to talk about, like, one of my most notable moments, and this one happened off the air, because it was like we see Sid and Shawn like kind of talking like the night after WrestleMania 11. Next thing we find out, Shawn Michaels is getting laid out. And then, ironically enough, the man who was his opponent just a mere 24 hours earlier, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, a.k.a. Kevin Nash, is coming to HBK's rescue.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then of course, like, definitely one that really stuck out to me, we got to go to September 1997, Madison Square Garden, and the unthinkable Vince McMahon gets laid out, courtesy of the rattlesnake himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It is what it is.
And now, I got to admit, now, of anyone, that moment still stands out to me because it was like, because that's where it's like, okay, some people knew McMahon owned the WWF at the time, or WWE pick, but it was like, when that moment happened, because, like, nobody ever laid their hands on Vince McMahon, and it was like, to me, the beginning of the Mr. McMahon character. And then of course you want to talk the controversy. How about the fallout from Montreal just a mere couple months later? You got DX coming in. And then I don't know. Then like Vince McMahon later on in that show with the infamous Brett screwed Brett comment right there.
Yeah. I remember 2011 SmackDown versus Raw. My boy Jake the Snake Roberts popped up. Y'all don't remember that, dude?
Let's say Jake popping up.
Yeah, he just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, I remember a couple of times Roberts popped on, like, yeah.
I told y'all he was like my, well, I didn't say all time, but one of the first.
Yep.
Because me meeting him face to face and pretty much saying, "Oh, your name is Jacob. We both Jakes." I was like, "Oh man." That's it. That did it for me. I was a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and then well, of course, since we brought up The Rock, I got to go to September 1999. Perhaps one of the highest rated segments in Monday Night Raw history. How can we ever forget? This Is Your Life with The Rock and Sock Connection.
Hilarious.
So only The Rock could tell his home ec teacher to get your Aunt Jemima having ass out my damn ring. Tell his gym teacher to take his whistle, shine it up, turn it sideways, stick it up his handy ass.
Yeah.
and then tell his ex-girlfriend, nope, no poontang pie. Poontang your ass on out here. Said only The Rock could.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah. And then speaking of, yeah, well, it seemed like The Rock has always had like instrumental moments, like on Raw, because he was along with the McMahons, he was the very first victim of the Stone Cold beer truck.
It would only be right.
Yeah, if you guys remember that one, that was actually leading up to WrestleMania 15. Yeah, the last Raw before there, and Austin pretty much destroyed the arena. Well, at least for the first 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that The Rock was first involving The Rock, he was also involved in another first in 1999. The first appearance of the Man of the Millennium, Y2J. That's right. When Raw was Jericho.
Of course.
Although truth be told, Jericho kind of got shut down, like, when The Rock finally got over the shock and whatever. Damas y caballeros, could it be?
Well,
Damas y caballeros, could it be? Yes, we're coming all the way from L.A. It's EL.CIBERNETICO. No, I'm just kidding. EL.CIBERNETICO.
Well, it's better than being called Burrito Grande, but yeah, that's another story. Oh, man, I heard Y2J. I had to get in here real quick. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Hey, we doing good, man.
Doing excellent, sir.
I know we've been jumping around, but what was some of your raw moments?
Well, since you brought it up, man, that Y2J clip, every time, lights drop, you hear the Millennium Clock going in the background, it always gives me the chills. Chris Jericho, one of my favorites up there. And, yeah, that's probably one of, my favorite moment the favorite moment of all time, actually, for me. But other than that, who could ever forget the time when Brian Pillman almost got shot by Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Oh, yeah, Pillman's got a gun. How damn. And, yeah, USA kind of like, USA was sweating some bullets over that one.
The infamous night. He got a gun!
Yeah, and may I say, one of the greatest works ever by WWE. Although, like I said, it nearly wound up getting their show canceled, but
right.
It is what it is.
Also, we can never forget the time when good old WCW invaded WWE with the whole purchase. It was a complete deal.
Yeah. Wow, I'm glad you brought that one up, because I was like, I actually wound up, right before Raw came on, I was like, what the hell is Vince McMahon doing on Nitro? And then when it was like, then later on in that night when they were crossing over, I was like, wait a minute, now Shane's down at the arena, or I was like literally trying to piece together, because I was still in shock over Vince being buying WCW, and I was like, wait a minute, Shane McMahon is on Nitro in the ring.
Shane O'Mac.
Well, Al, you had another moment you were getting ready to mention.
Yes, and of course we can never forget. Part 2 of that was when the rebirth of ECW.
Oh.
When you got the Dudleys, you got Taz, and a few other ECW members literally turned their back on the WWE and said, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
And it was also the beginning of the alliance.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget the coup de grace that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget the coup de grace of that story.
Uh-oh.
Stephanie McMahon, at the time, Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, revealed to be the new owner of ECW.
Oh, I thought you were saying she revealed her new titties. But
yeah. No, I think that happened after the wedding. But, yeah, speaking of, since I kind of now segued into that one, how about the end of the alliance? And it was like, just when Vince thought his world was back in order, nope, because here came Slick Rick himself, the Nature Boy, revealed to have bought out Shane and Stephanie's half or a quarter of the company, and now Vince McMahon and Ric Flair co-owners of the WWE. Who would have ever thought that moment?
All right. How about this one? You're making me dig in the attic for this one. Big Show chokeslams Undertaker straight through hell.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Big Show kind of had his moments too on that. Sure. Yeah, I'll tell you, Big Show caused a good amount of destruction, because I remember one time, just after the corporation fired him, then he Austin a reason hell, and then Stone Cold orders Big Show to yanked down the Titantron. It was like, that was, and I've seen Big Show like move rings just by like lifting them up, and like, but to see him like literally yank down the Tron, and thankfully for once without Austin driving the vehicle, that was just crazy.
Or better yet, who could ever you can never forget the time when Jericho technically almost won the WWF Championship off of Triple H.
Yeah, because I also remember I remember that night for another reason. Because if I recall correctly, that was also the beginning of a certain catchphrase he would also associate with said $1 Billion Princess.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I think everybody knows that phrase by now. And speaking of which, it seems like Jericho always seemed to have something innovative. Like, who can ever forget one of the funniest promos of all time? The Rock and Chris Jericho stealing each other's catchphrases right before they were supposed to compete against each other in a number one contenders match. And, wow. And then, of course, when we talk about Raw, how about the group that epitomized it all? D-Generation X.
Can't forget about them.
And whether it's comedic or whether it was brutality, DX always had a memorable moment or two on Monday Night Raw.
Alright. No doubt.
Because for one, we always had who can forget them actually invading WCW, dragging their fans away while both companies were actually in the same city, Hampton, Virginia. Shout out to you guys. And then wound up bringing their fans up to Monday Night Raw. Hey. Or we can remember when DX, it was probably one of the funniest parodies I've ever remembered, when Triple H debuted The Croc, and everybody parodied the Nation of Domination. Yeah. And which, by the way, shout out to Road Dogg for one of the most hilarious his impression of D-Lo, or should I say B-Lo, that was one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life.
Wow. Tragic.
Oh no, that wasn't the tragedy. The tragedy was X-Pac coming out as Mizark. There was your tragedy.
You're right.
But
So true.
But I will say that if you want to give a props moment, Jason Sensation, the young man who impersonated Owen Hart, awesome job there. That was one of the funnier parts of that whole promo right there. Speaking of said Mr. Hart, Raw also gave us some of our more emotional moments as well. And of course, the night after that tragic night in Kansas City, the Owen Hart tribute show. And seeing everybody seeing everybody pretty much out of character, giving their love to the late Owen Hart. Definitely one of the most memorable Raws for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, and I remember the part I remembered most about this was that right after Jeff Jarrett literally was in tears that he could barely even speak, because to say that you had, and he said one of the most real lines there is the wrestling, you have very few friends. And to consider Owen Hart one of his was it just literally touched him so much, because that's the effect that Owen kind of had on you. And then of course some of the retirements of Raw also were pretty emotional. Who could ever forget the farewell to the Nature Boy Ric Flair back in 2008? Although we all know how that turned out later. But to see the Horsemen, to see Ricky Steamboat, to see Dusty Rhodes, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and everybody that over a 30, 40-year career that come down and pay their respects to the 16-time champ. Even the although this happened post-show, even the Undertaker coming out and doing his traditional bow to the Nature Boy himself. So it's
yeah.
It was, to me, I felt that was the day where it's you saw wrestling really come to full what it was truly supposed to be about. Because to me, Ric Flair is the last of a generation. And it was we lost it. To me, when Flair leaves, that wrestling loses one of its purest treasures, in my opinion, right there.
No.
Because the history. Go ahead, Jake.
No, go ahead. I'm just listening.
Yeah, because to me, it's Flair was one of those guys. He literally was there. When wrestling was on the return. He's been when it was on the low, when it was at its highest, when it was in the middle. It was Flair pretty much took every big name that there was, no matter what position they were in their career. Flair's pretty much wrestled them all. Kind of like the man who would eventually retire him, Shawn Michaels. And to me, and Michaels, another emotional retirement right there, because controversial as he was, HBK made you pay attention. And it was he may have been controversial at times. Sure, he had his a-hole moments, for lack of a better term. But it was love him or hate him, Shawn Michaels made you respect him.
So true.
Yeah, and then while El's off the air for the brief moment, even to go back to just a little less than 2 years ago, the retirement of the Rated R superstar Edge. That one caught me by surprise, because I thought injuries notwithstanding, he always found a way to overcome them. But it was yep, Father Time eventually catches up with you at some point, and then it was just like, think, just 24 hours earlier, here he was at WrestleMania 27 defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Alberto Del Rio, and then coming out a night later to announce his retirement.
That's crazy.
And it's like, and to think, like, although Edge had been wrestling like a near 15-year career, he was still in his early 30s. He was still in his early 30s, and like just hitting the peak of his career.
Yep.
And then of course, just last year, Raw just hitting its 1,000th episode, and of course it makes me think about some of the guys who came back: Vader, Sid, Lita. Austin.
So true.
Yep. Yeah, and it was like it was definitely a sight to behold to see like so many guys so many men and women over the last 20 years who've been an influence on Monday Night Raw. It's just like, wow, it's like crazy to think about it. And perhaps one moment, actually, I'm surprised I left this out. One moment that like really stuck to me was a moment I thought I would never see. Bret the Hitman Hart, not only in a WWE ring, but shaking hands and bearing the hatchet with Shawn Michaels. Like, for anybody that was around for the Montreal Screwjob, we would have thought, yeah, all of us would have been dead before that moment happened. Hey, Jake. Yeah. Jacob? Okay, looks like I'm flying. So
I'm here.
All right,
I'm here. I just ain't want the noise to be in your ear.
All right. That's what, well, there kind of ain't that much noise on it because it's pretty much just me and you right now. So.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. Yeah. But talk to you like, did you ever think, like, go from the Montreal Screwjob? Did you ever think you would ever see Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart shaking hands in the middle of the ring on Raw?
Oh, definitely not.
Select payment type.
That was a shock to me too.
Yeah. Well, I'll say one thing.
Use pin pad to complete.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. If Raw's known for anything, it's like just when you think you won't see something that'll shock you. Yep, they'll pull something out the hat on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and then who would ever thought, like, you know, who would have thought, like, another moment that stood out to me, another Shawn Michaels moment, Muhammad Hassan and Daivari jumping HBK, but then a very familiar song to WWE fans across the world. The unthinkable Madison Square Garden. Could it have been the man himself, the red and yellow, coming to the rescue? The Hulkster himself and HBK uniting. Man, I was about to say, like, if you want a moment to show the unpredictability of Raw, That to me would definitely be one of them, because who would have thought Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels together? Yeah, because you remember, like, these guys, like, remember Hogan at his peak. Yeah, and then when Hogan was at his peak, Shawn Michaels was still one half of the Rockers. And then all these years later, the Immortal One teaming up with the Showstopper? Unreal to say the least. But then, speaking of moments that we didn't think we'd ever see, how about we go back again to April of 2011. The Brahma Bull stepping back into the WWE ring and saying, John Cena versus The Rock. Next year, WrestleMania 28. I was like, I heard it, but I didn't believe it. I was like, the media buzz, when they made that announcement, like, you couldn't go anywhere without the next year without hearing about that match. And it was like, what can we do about this? Yeah, sorry about that for a brief moment there, folks. Could anybody think that Rock versus Cena, when they made that announcement, that we'd ever think we'd ever see The Rock at anything, much less taking on the number one guy in the company? But anyway, that's just like some of Monday Night Raw. I'm actually missing a couple of moments here, and I apologize to Miguel and Harrison. Eugene. I think you were the one who mentioned the Alliance one. So, I forgot, because Raw, for some people who may have forgotten, didn't spend all 20 of their years on USA. For a brief while, they were on Spike TV. Then they went back. And then, of course, first night on, the SmackDown guys are attacking the Raw guys. And it was like, yep, only on USA could you have this type of a homecoming for Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, one of the greatest rivalries of all time happened out right there, Triple H and The Undertaker. It was like, Taker's making his return. Suddenly, you hear the game's music, and then the epic stare down. Then they glance at the WrestleMania sign. And there's like, a year later, Taker returns the favor. It's like, as Triple H is getting ready to fire John Laurinaitis, all of a sudden you hear the gongs after being out. After Triple H inadvertently injured the dead man a year earlier. Then it was like, gong. And then we hear the dead man returning, and it was like, Triple H, dead man, Hell in a Cell. After weeks of Taker trying to bait Triple H into a match, and Triple H saying no, it was definitely a mind-blowing experience for anybody who's been following Raw. And it's just like so many moments that you could think about here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, as you know, this Monday, 20 here, it's just like something to behold, and then we know we're going to have more with The Rock and CM Punk approaching with the Royal Rumble. Oh wait, that was Miguel's moment. Miguel, I remembered coming back this past Monday, the first consultation, calling him a cookie puss, giving a rock bottom. Of course, I bring up CM Punk. We can never forget that night in Las Vegas, sitting on the stage and dropping pipe bombs on everybody.
No doubt.
Tim. Oh, it was good.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
just like,
but I think Rock he makes mention of too many body parts.
yeah, I think that's true on a lot of occasions. But then again, that's always been The Rock. Like,
he has me crying when he told him to put an M&M on his right butt cheek, add some cheap Snickers. What did he say?
Yeah.
He said he couldn't have a Mounds.
And a Mounds bar because
he said he couldn't have.
You can't put an Almond Joy on there because the Almond Joy actually has the nuts.
Hilarious. And he said, what size shoe we got? Size 16.
Yep.
On the left butt cheek so he can remember. Like, okay then.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you and Chris would take it there, but it was like that wasn't even close to where Rock was going with that line.
I was like, okay. I can see him calling him candy ass, okay. But it's like, yeah, you know damn well that's where he was going with that whole tactic. Although, yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned the part about like stripping naked in front of a mirror or whatever. But I'm just saying though. See, my whole thinking was, yeah, Rock got a sweet tooth. Yeah, that was the instigator. I said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's better. Well, that plus also plus you know The Rock do love his pancakes.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, but then of course, like, how about one of the key things of Monday Night Raw, the evolution of the legend killer, the Viper, Randy Orton.
Oh man, Raw will never be the same.
Yep.
I think he has one of the, other than the Undertakers, Randy has one of the tightest personas in WWE right now, I think.
Yeah.
I think can't nobody copy it.
Yeah. Well, to think, like, Randy Orton has had quite a few things. Remember, coming out, member of Evolution. Then the night after he becomes the youngest champion in history.
I remember.
Going in, I think, beating up John Cena, Daddy.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did he do?
He did have his moments there.
Yeah, jumping out when Triple H beat him for the title, he jumps out the cake and then winds up throwing Triple H into it.
He's had his moments.
Yeah.
I will say that.
And actually, you know, I want to touch on something you said there. You actually said a very interesting phrase. It was about wrestling never being the same. I thought that was true when Vince McMahon announced the first ever general manager of Raw could be none other than Eazy-E himself, Eric Bischoff. Like I remember my exact reaction. I almost keeled over because I was like, "Who did he say?"
There's no way.
Yeah, like literally, I had to like race to my bathroom and wash my throw some water on my face because I was like, "Wait a minute, Eric Bischoff is standing next to Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw," and I was like, "All right, I'm seeing it. I ain't believing it, and I know I'm not hallucinating, and I know I ain't going crazy." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not running a fever." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm really seeing it."
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
And then and then on top of that, who would ever thought that in one night we would actually see Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman, same ring, same time. That, of course, being the prelude to the 2005 ECW One Night Stand. I was like,
"Oh yeah, yeah."
I was like, wow. Who would have ever thought we would have had the owner of WWE, the former owner of WCW, and the former owner of ECW all standing next to each other
together,
and surprisingly not want to rip each other's heads off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but there's just been so many amazing things when it comes to Raw that it's just, man, I think, and to think there's so many that we haven't named yet, and probably because they fall all under the same category when it comes to, especially when it comes to Stone Cold raising hell. And driving everything from a Zamboni to a monster truck. Yeah, which, by the way, I was still mad he messed up the Rock's Lincoln Continental. That was actually a beautiful car.
It is what it is.
Yeah, them throwing him and the Rock throwing each other's belts into the off of bridges and whatever.
Oh man. Some stuff we'll never see again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Speaking of things where I was mad about Austin messing up cars, because I'm a big Corvette fan. So pouring that cement in Vince McMahon's white convertible.
Oh, didn't that suck?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm a Corvette fan too, so that one was a little hard for me to watch, even though I was kind of cracking up at the same time, but still though. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, and of course I'd be remiss if like I mentioned, we also mentioned the tributes earlier. We can't forget, the Raw after the tribute shows to Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, God rest both their souls. Man, to think, the two guys standing in the middle of WrestleMania 20, and then it was then within the span of 3 years, both of them wind up passing away.
Crazy.
And newcomer.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Al, again. I'm doing a little thing behind the scenes, but we just got a message off of Twitter and our Facebook, and we got a message from Quan Chang, and he wanted to also mention his favorite moment, and that was when Vince introduces Eric Bischoff as the new general manager of Monday Night Raw.
We must have read in my mind because I actually just we just got done mentioning that one, like
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we must have been reading minds. Yeah, Quan and I must have had the wavelength going because I was like, yeah, because I was just from the story, like I had to like literally race to my bathroom and like wash my face because I thought I was like, all right, they're playing a joke on me or something because there ain't no way that's Bischoff on this. I was like, okay, and I'm not running a fever, and I'm like, what the hell? It is Eric Bischoff, and I was like,
and his second pick was Triple H returns to Madison Square Garden back in 2002 when the place just literally blew up.
Oh yeah, dude, how can we ever forget that one? Wow, like that was a crazy thing. Well, actually, yeah, and then think about it. Let's go to the predecessor that when Triple H blew out his leg, and it was like, here's the funny thing. We weren't even aware of it till like after the match was over.
That is true.
Yeah. And then of course
it was an emotional night for me because I mean I love Triple H. Don't get me wrong. I mean that guy's my boy and everything. But to see it, yeah, you know, and I believe it was the same night he took out Kurt Angle.
Yeah, because like when Kurt tried to steal his thunder at the Garden and announced he was in the Royal Rumble. Oh, but you know something we haven't talked about? The chaos, and it was like nothing says chaos on Monday Night Raw like a wedding gone bad.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and let's see how many of these we had. We had Triple H and Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie and Tess. Then Triple H and Stephanie. Then Edge and Lita, which Kane. Wait, didn't Kane like stone the Priest in that one?
Yes,
I remember you got to sing it with somebody. Yep. Then let's see. And then of course going back to the Raw 1000, Daniel Bryan and AJ. Which, by the way, to give Jake a little extra moment, we also remember that's when The Rock said that D-Bride looked like a cross between a Lumberjack and an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't forget about that one. Oh, man. Hey, just to let you guys know, for all you people out there that are listening, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WCC Live. At WCC Live. Once again, at WCC Live. If you guys want your questions and answers by Maurice, hit him up also on there. We'll be for sure forwarding those messages over to him. Also, if you got Facebook, make sure to add us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Wrestling Commentary Central. Maurice,
yep.
There's all this madness going on back here. I'm going to give it back to you real quick, but before I go, let me tell you, who could ever forget the one night that the guy I hate the most, Edge, had a sex scene with Lita in the middle of the damn ring?
Oh, yeah. You know, how in the world do we forget that one? And I actually meant, oh, yeah, well, I just brought up the wedding. How did I forget that beforehand? Yeah, that one was definitely... Yeah, that was definitely memorable, especially considering that, for those who watched it live, and it was like, which I did, and it was like, I wound up missing the fact that Lita's out, so. Yeah, because I was like, all right, are they really doing anything? And I was like, they're probably not. And then I was like, I'm hearing King and Coach reacting, and then it's like, oh, hello, Lita. And then, of course, I missed it live because the cameraman passed away. But then, thankfully, YouTube backed me up, and I was like, yeah, there we go. And, of course, we always have, wild and chaotic moments involving our favorite divas. Who can forget? Yeah, who can forget who can forget, one of the greatest parodies ever, Shelton Benjamin and Trish Stratus reenacting the infamous Monday Night Football opening of, I think it was T.O. and Nicolette Sheridan from Desperate Housewives. I was like, you got to give that one some comedy points right there. And, of course, when we talk comedy, I forgot to mention my favorite DX parody of all time, HBK and Triple H impersonating the McMahons, which, by the way, HBK, that impression of Shane O'Mac, or Sean O'Mac, take your pick. One of the most awesome things ever. Let's see. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all can hook me up with some more raw moments, please do. Please do. And that's fact, don't forget that this Monday night, it's 20 years. Yeah, I haven't told you enough over the last hour and a half. Yeah, and don't forget, Houston, you're going to have a problem because y'all ain't going to know what to do with 3 hours of wildness and craziness. Oh, and by the way, confirmed, Stone Cold will be there this Monday night, just to let y'all know. And so will The Rock, so will JR, so will everybody that has probably been over there in the last 20 years. It's been crazy. All right, and then we can't forget perhaps one of the craziest moments ever. JR getting set on fire by the Big Red Machine the week after he gets unmasked after losing to Triple H. Then Kane decides to electrocute Shane O'Mac. Let's see. Then Shane decides to get some revenge and send Kane into a flaming garbage can. And of course, there's also the stunner moments of the night when then there's also some of the most interesting betrayals in Monday Night history as well. How did I wind up forgetting about some of these? Who could forget? On the 4th of July of all days, Shawn Michaels blasting Hulk Hogan with some Sweet Chin music just after they won a tag team match to set up their SummerSlam 2005 encounter. Then, of course, Triple H, not once but twice in a span of 3 weeks, backstabbing HBK, leading to Shawn Michaels to announce that for the first time in over 4 years, he would be competing at SummerSlam 2002 against Triple H. And then, of course, I mentioned Randy Orton getting kicked out of Evolution. Triple H tried to set up Batista, but the animal wound up getting wind of the plan and then wound up powerbombing Triple H through a table. Yeah, let's see what other let's see what other backstabbings could we possibly mention. Oh yeah, the Raw Homecoming. Triple H lays out Ric Flair. Mm-hmm. Let's see. We've mentioned comedy. We've mentioned the drama. We mentioned betrayal. We've mentioned the emotional stuff. Man, simply put, Raw has brought it all to you. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know what this Monday's going to bring, but rest assured, it's definitely going to be chaotic. You know what? That's going to do it for me. That's going to do it for me tonight because I'm going to tire myself out and I'm going to stress my brain if I try and think of any more moments here. But as Mel said, make sure you guys join us on Wrestling Commentary Central on Facebook. Don't forget, we also have the WCC Live page on Facebook if you want to check that out as well. Hit us up on Twitter at WCC Live. You can also hit me up personally at Reese Rocks the Mic on Twitter. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10:30 for the TNA recipe with the Big Red Machine, Brian Jones, and the rest of the group. Make sure you check out Saturday with Breakdown. I'll be on. Elle will probably be on. That's at 9 o'clock. And then join us for Uncensored at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central to talk about the 20th anniversary of Raw. Don't forget Overload. Tuesdays 10 Eastern, 9:30 Central with Elle and Mr. Jones. And then join me back here next week. And specifically, ladies, it's going to be your night next week because we are going to celebrate the women of wrestling. So if you are a woman and you are a wrestling fan, guess what? Next week, my show is yours. If you are a female wrestling fan, whether you're a wrestler, whether you're a referee, whether you're a video host, or you're just simply a fan, next week, I want to hear from you one way or the other. What do you call in? By the way, the number is 760-569-7676, access 200446#. Like I said, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter. You can message me personally. Do whatever you can. I want to make sure we hear from you. Oh, by the way, I want to give a shout-out, since I'm mentioning this, to my girls, Cassie and Lauren. Congratulations on your 100th episode of Divas Getting Raw. I just checked it out earlier today. Thank you very much for giving me a shout-out. So I'm going to return the favor, give you a shout-out here on my show. And hopefully I will hear from you guys next week. So we can tell you more about Divas Getting Raw. Anyway, that's the show for tonight. I am Rockin' Reese. Keep on slamming. And keep on ring rocking while you're at it. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.